Welcome to For Collectors.
Hey, we are live. Welcome back to For Collectors, sports fans. A channel for collectors just like you and I. So I am extremely happy and pleased to welcome my guest tonight. And it's going to be fun. I hope it's going to be a little off the hook. And we're going to have some, we're going to talk about a lot of different things. And we are encouraging questions from the chat because it's going to be an AMA. So Jason, Professor Sports Cards, welcome to For Collectors.
Hey now, thanks for having me. Yeah, it should be fun.
So we were just talking before we went live that you've had a lot of friends of mine on the show. You've had Mike and Greg and Orlando and Mike Petty have been on, and you had Chris Sewell has been on. So you've had a lot of crossover with us guys, and I think you've garnered a lot of respect and admiration from a crew that used to, what'd you call it? The vintage, you had a name for it. The vintage vibes.
That's right. Vibes and yeah.
It's so it's good. It's like one of those things where you kind of nailed us, and then we came in and we were vibey with you. So
Steel City, Philly Joe says what's up. I'm just looking at the chat here. Kunk City, I haven't seen some of these names. Yeah, good to see some of those guys.
Yeah, let's say hello to the chat here. Hey now, there we go. I don't know who Seville collects. Is that one of your guys?
Hey now.
That's good. All right, and we got just what we needed, exactly. A little truth serum in the hobby here.
Hello. Yeah, it's crazy weekend. Just a crazy weekend of content. A lot of stuff.
That's Steel City Dan. He's a friend of ours.
What's up,
Philly? I don't know Philly Joe that well, but I know he's been in the chat a lot. So what do we have? We only have 29. Come on, guys. Where are we? Oh, I bet you Alex is running a little late. That's probably what it is, because he was celebrating like an anniversary show. So I guess the first thing to talk about is kind of like what's your backstory, like your collecting history kind of thing, like how you got into the hobby, and then bring us up to like you getting onto YouTube about almost 3 years ago at this point.
Yeah, I'll try to do it concise. I guess my first box goes back to 1990 Hoops. So, I mean, I was 5 at that time. Maybe I opened it when I was 6. I don't know. My grandfather got it for me. I remember having the 1994 Top set. I was collecting, as a kid, baseball, 1994 Top set. So I'd play, I'd make teams, roll dice, have a whole like Stratomatic or Showdown, record the stats. I think a lot of card people are number stat people. I worked at a card shop. My first job was doing, newspaper boy. Then I got McDonald's at 15 years old. Across the street's the card shop. So I went over. He owned another card shop in another city. So he never got a day off. So I went in with my dad and I asked, hey man, would you want a day off? I'll work for you Sunday. You wouldn't have to work either shop. And so I also got sick in high school. So I did that for close to a year, maybe 8-9 months. And then, I've just been collecting ever since. Come and go. As an adult, you get in, you buy some stuff, you take a break. And then since 2017, I've probably been more steady. I found ComC in 2017. It got me kind of back into buying cards. Yeah.
So, what was the impetus to start the YouTube channel?
Yeah, perfect. Yes, that's the next. And by the way, Frank, what's up? The card deal, Clemente collector. But no, and I watched, in 2020, we had nothing else to do. Cards are moving. Okay, I watched all these guys. I soaked up all the content. And by 2022, I had moved into a new spot. I was more set, okay. And I watched for a couple years. I just got annoyed with what was being made and how the direction of like my first video, which it's about Wilt Chamberlain. I just felt like there needs to be some connection to cards and sports, and that's completely was missed. And so that's what started. And I had 2.5 years of very, very slow growth, and something happened, I don't know, last May or April, where my content got better. I learned, I got, things pieced together to where luckily I had a moment that people found me.
Well, I went back and I watched the Will Chamberlain video, and it's really good. I mean,
I
we did a
know.
thing in our we did a thing in our national house a couple of years ago. Like we all watched the first videos of all the channels of the guys that were represented in the room, and I'll tell you, there's some bad first videos.
That's a very
It's
interesting
good.
exercise, by the way.
Yeah. You had production, you had stats, you had film clips. I mean, it was really like I'm like, wow, this is a first video. This is hitting the ground running. So kudos to you on that. And one thing I should say is that, and we'll get into it, how the channel has evolved and how you sort of, your the way that you present in the community these days. But you're a guy with a lot of knowledge and like a really strong background in like not only like the players and the game, but also like the numbers. So tell us a little bit about that.
Oh man, I've always loved, I just love sports, and I'm 5'6", so you go more to being the sports nerd, I guess. But I just love sports. I moved, I played a lot of basketball. I moved to boxing. I ran marathons. I not to the numbers thing just comes from loving sports. There's something about numbers and sports, and the back of the card growing up. Yeah, and then you play in fantasy. I've been in a fantasy baseball league, same league for 20 plus years. I've known some of those guys since middle school. Yeah, I've always just been in I love numbers in sports, especially baseball, but even basketball and football. And then actually some of the people in the hobby, I actually watched all the championships. I actually watched the playoffs. I actually watched some of it. So I retain it. I just love it. As I get older, I'm noticing a passion, all the money thrown at these NBA guys for them just to yell at the refs. It really bothers me how you turn on college basketball, and I sound like I'm getting older here, but there's no yelling at I can't think of another sport where they yell at the refs more. Like they don't do it in baseball. They don't do it in the NFL. They don't do it in college. These NBA guys it really turns me off, but
Yeah.
just the love of the game, I guess. I love sports.
So, all right. So I went through your channel, and I've been familiar with this, and I would guess the one thing that kind of the first thing I saw of yours was you did a video called SCR Exposed, Sports Card Radio Exposed, which I guess was about 2 years ago, maybe something a year and a half ago.
They all
and it's got
together,
like 9,000 views. Like you look at your view numbers, and this one is just way up. And I think it was kind of like a real. I respected it at the time because those guys. I had a relationship with those guys. I knew them. I appeared on their show. I've communicated with them over the years. And they could be. I think they were easily sold out. they were easily told things that weren't true that they believed. They were kind of nasty. There was an element of nastiness to it that really turned me off. Which we'll get into your approach. You're a lot more empathetic guy, and I think you're a lot more fair to your guests than these guys have been, and your subjects also. But what was the impetus for that particular video at that time?
That one, and they went away from it fast. That one video was what they wanted to show, like cards that they thought would go up in value. And I really enjoy, Sports Card Radio is someone I watched a lot of, and I thought, okay, their production value, their editing, they're talking about things that others aren't. But when they came out with this, this card might be goodbye, or this card, it was just like what everyone else was doing. And so, okay, the Exposed is just, it's a little clickbaity, but I basically went after, they're telling you now, some of those cards in the past year have gone up because the hobby's done something crazy. Prior to that, they would have not done, they stayed flat or went down. But anyways, that just trying to stay fair. I think they should stay in their lane of the great stories that they do versus all of us shouldn't be. It's hard to tell people what cards to buy. It's not a good,
So we're going to get into SCR again because we got an issue we're going to cover, and somebody actually asked some questions. So I got 5-starred questions. Let's go to the questions for a little bit.
Now.
So here's Chris C says, "Hey guys, I have a question. Is there any way to break up the exclusive monopoly that Fanatics holds? I used to enjoy buying new products, but not at these price points. So when we bring up SCR, they just had a pretty big splash. It was leaked to them an internal Fanatics document from last year's national that had a whole list of things that they were going to do with their what they called their preferred vendors. And it's really, I mean, a lot of people have been sort of, talking about the numbers and the millions that these people are raking in. But I was sort of turned off by this whole concept of like a pay to play thing, that that the preferred vendors were getting better product. They were getting, what's the word for it? Allocations. They were getting celebrities sent to them. They were getting things steered to them. There was like price fixing issues in there. And so I'm kind of thinking that that's like a real good start for this question, is that like this thing just broke. Maybe this is when Fanatics starts pulling back. What do you think?
Well, first, SCR goes live tomorrow. I'm sure they're going to dive into it. On Tuesday, I stayed all day preparing for my Tuesday live. I got a bunch, so I'm going to talk more about it. I think that if you look, like, this is just, it's not a coincidence. And it's what I've been talking about a lot recently, is if you look at the top 3 breakers, maybe it's when I have it really laid out nicely and I have video with it. It's like one of the top one is We the People. Well, they hit like 7 1-of-1s in a pack or a box. It's crazy. There's a Filth Bomb who hit those MLBW. It's Backyard Breaks and Blez, and they've all gone on these streaks on opening day, hitting the biggest cards. And so it's not a coincidence that their 4 biggest breakers who they consider are also 4 that have gotten some of this product on opening day that looks crazy. So yeah, I definitely, it was an interesting leak, I'll say. And I was at the, I mean, I'll say this again on Tuesday, but I was at the national, maybe you were too. There was some meetings going on and things going, it very much felt like exactly what they're saying, that yes, the national is a great time to have big views, so you can show it to companies or show it to this meeting, or it felt like it was a good time for meetings. So yes, I kind of buy all of it.
And well, one of the things that was in there, one of the like issues that they would bring up with a particular vendor was whether they had attended Fanatics Fest and what their participation at Fanatics Fest was. So it really reeks of pay to play. And in a situation where we talked about monopolies when it came to PSA and collectors and all that, I mean, this is really Fanatics is a monopoly, and it's a monopoly where there's shady stuff going on behind the scenes. And that's the way monopolies get broken up, is that the government or whoever finds out that like these people are in fact engaged in the legal standard, which is illegal restraint of trade. It's not that they're a monopoly, it's that they're restraining trade. And so in this scenario, this document coming out, I think, is way bigger than people realize. And I guess we're gonna find out, and be interesting what they say tomorrow. So the other issue, and Brendan is got us here. The other issue is Pac-Man. Now, kudos to you. There was something on Reddit, and then both you and Dan the Cardman came out yesterday morning early with videos about this whole Pac-Man thing. And Brendan's question is the Pac-Man situation just a symptom of being pressured to sell garbage product by Fanatics, or the breaking point of greed by PM? Yeah, I mean, Pac-Man was a guy with a video channel. He opens product on channel. It's all modern stuff. It's not really my thing. But he also now has his own breaking platform on Whatnot. And this video of him like engaging in real predatory practices, real hard sell, insulting his customers because he couldn't fill spots on a product that he overpaid on. And it's really a bad look. And you had the video, like I said, Dan Cardman has a new video today because Pac-Man has responded. And what most of these guys do is after you get caught being a jackass on camera, these guys double down and dig themselves deeper. And that's kind of what's happened in the last 24 hours. So what do you think about Brendan's question? What do you think about this whole Pac-Man thing?
All right. So we started, and I didn't start making content until 2022, 2023. I don't remember the year, but the first couple years I'm consuming. And I came to a realization pretty fast that Pac-Man's getting all these views. He's getting all this product. He's not, it's a promotion for Fanatics or Panini or whoever. They were giving him some product to open because it's a great way. Hey, look at this product. You know, it was a great way for them. So that was my take on it. And that's how I always felt. And it just gotten worse and worse. In that video I made recently, I show him and Mojo with Cade Cunningham. And of course, they pull a flawless rookie auto Cade Cunningham. So it's already fishy what's going on there. Okay, so then he has another persona, and we've gone on our live, on my live, we've gone into his whatnot room. He was selling a toy, the Ghost Right toy. He was also selling cards as well. And it's a different face. He's a sales. He wasn't to that extent what we saw yesterday. But yes, very salesy, very push the needle, gotta move it, gotta sell, up, promoting any player is great. And I think that goes on a lot more in Whatnot cuts their stream. You don't get Whatnot. You don't get to see the views after. You can't go watch it afterwards. They do that for a reason, so.
Yeah, that happened not recently, but that happened after some people had gone back and found video of guys, doing what the off-camera dips and things like that. But one of the things, and I made this comment in Dan's first video, was that maybe in some ways it's good news. Like if this sort of high-profile guy can't fill spots, maybe that's a sign that people aren't buying into breaks as much as they had in past years, and maybe it's good news. And that comment, I just, right off the top of my head, has like 150 likes. So people actually agree with me on this. But what do you think? Is breaking about to break? Is breaking about to dive? What do you think?
I mean, if you talk to a breaker, they've said they've heard that terms for the last decade or 5 years. So, but just from following it as close as I do the past 6 months, having conversations I have with certain people, I think breaking is not as this thriving thing as it seems. I do think they have to push it a certain way, or else it wouldn't be. They're trying super hard. You can see how hard they try in some of those backyard break videos or filth bomb videos. And then you go in their room, and we've been in some of these rooms that have 13 people in there. If there's not a giveaway, a lot of people aren't there. So I don't think breaking's going away. I think there's some people that do it right, some people that do it wrong. But I also think it might not be as thriving as it's looked to be.
Yeah, it might be one of those things like it blew up so quickly that everybody and their uncle got a breaking channel and out of their garage. And it's going to be the guys with the long-term ability to last, and it's going to shake out.
Who do you think they're? It feels like the demographic for that is limited. It's not, the demographic is someone new in the hobby. So, okay, if they could just keep getting new people, because eventually you move on from that, or just a gambling degen or someone that's younger. I feel like that demographic's limited. They can't keep pulling from the same well, and maybe I'm wrong, but it just feels like it can't always have growth.
Yeah, they're right. Like I said, like I was about to say, they can't keep raising the prices of the products so much to the point, and you did a video about this also, that you get to the point where collectors are out. Collectors are gone, that it's now really only breakers that can do it. But at some point, even the breaks, because they've got to have a margin on the top end, even the breaks themselves are going to be too expensive because you can't keep inflating the price. At some point, it's got to break. So this is kind of a similar question. This is from our friend Dan from Steel City DW. With our vintage focus friends seeing a lot of backlash on social media about breakers and fanatics due to recent leak of financials and allocations of product. Yeah, I mean, that's one of those things that we just talked about. It's like, maybe breaking isn't as lucrative as it may seem, but these top breakers are making tens of millions of dollars, and that's a little sobering,
And I made this argument a while back, and eventually it's working out with grading companies at the moment. Eventually, just like in big corporate America, 2026, it's the big players and everyone else. So a lot of these breakers, not Pac-Man, because Pac-Man's a bigger one, has a huge, has a YouTube, but some of these small ones have to do whatever they can to make ends meet or stay breaking. There's just no way they could compete with Blez or Filth Bomb or some of these other breakers.
So let's talk about your channel a little bit more, because we hadn't finished. And somebody asked, "Where's Rhonda?" So I know Rhonda's like, I assume it's like somebody who's volunteered to help you out on your lives, and she's, does a great job. I mean, the chat moves. You engage the chat, which is a great way to get your live, audience involved. And I've seen her come on with you and talk, and she knows the hobby. So I mean, good kudos to you with getting Rhonda in there.
Hey, shout out to Rhonda. Yeah, Rhonda helps a lot. Frank helps a lot. The thing that the channel was doing some bigger numbers on views, and I started going live, and I sacrificed some of those views. But what has in turn become is I have have this community, like really, like there is people I talk to almost daily, people that have been willing, like professional people wanting to help and volunteer. So it's a pretty cool, Orlando, I think's here. Frank, I think's here. Some of the guys are here, and Rhonda as well. So, and ladies. So no, that has been a really neat part of the live is building this little community that I would have never met any of these people. I'd never talked to any of these people. I wouldn't have. Same with a lot of the content people if I never went live. So yeah, and the help is, it's a community. People say everyone in a different way, getting an email about this, getting someone sending me this video, getting, having someone call into a live or leave a voicemail. So the show, it's been very engaging.
Yeah. And, like I said before, one of the things that, if people think, oh, Professor's just another SCR. No, you have like a community. I think like I said, when people come on, sure, a lot of guys yell at each other, and some of the crazy guys say stuff that they probably shouldn't say, but you have an empathy to you, and you have a respect to your guests and to the chat that these SCR guys didn't have. And I think that's the difference, and that's what makes it more watchable and more enjoyable for people to watch. So that's kudos to you. Now Frank has a question here. Do you think upstart YouTube creators can make an impact in calling out bad actors in the hobby? Do you think the leaders in the industry really pay attention to the little guy? There was two questions there, but I think the first question is good for you, because that's kind of how you really got your footing with your channel, right?
Yes. Yeah. But, it also took 2.5 years of learning, because to be honest, my content was not at the place 2.5 years. You watch the Wilt video and videos after, I don't know, but it just wasn't where it took 2.5 years of learning and getting better and realizing. The one thing I want to say is it's good for people that make those videos, but you see how hard it is. Someone like AIH has been making content like that for years, and he still never really takes off. So it's just, YouTube's a funny game. It is the more of the good pay attention, the more of that type of content out there, the better. But I also think it is really hard to get noticed on social media, especially YouTube. And I'm not saying it's impossible. It's just not easy. It's a tough game. It's a weird,
but the question about, making an impact by calling out bad actors. And, I have a little bit of experience with this in the last 6 months, with the video with Carlos and the whole thing about the legality and illegality of Patrick Ryan and Beckett and the response that got, and that got me, I don't know, a couple hundred new subscribers. It got me to be friends with you.
That's how I learned. Show. Yeah, that's right.
So I mean, I think that there's a real, you don't have an obligation to do it, but I feel like it's really important that if you have an expertise or you have some kind of knowledge that can expose bad actors, no matter how small your channel is, please do it. And I think
that's well said.
The success of your channel is to be, is to be respected because you've done it, and you've done it in the right way, I think. The second part of that is interesting, because
your answer was better than mine. Yeah.
The leaders in the industry really pay attention to the little guy? Yeah, I don't think so. Honestly. Sorry, Frank. I wish they did. What do you think?
No, I think I don't. I think you're right. However, you can't become noticed without being little first. And so your answer of, yeah, and the more of that out there, the better. Just the more of that, the real narrative, probably the better.
Ben. I'm really behind in the chat here because I had the starred comments. Okay, so eBay has one. This is kind of similar. This is more of a historical question. Talk about monopolies. Can this turn into 1981 again with Fleer and Donner speaking Topps monopoly? Let me say this to you. I've done a lot of research on this topic. I have a lot of experience in it. Topps was challenged for 15 to 20 years before their monopoly got broken. So it's not something I really would like to have happen in this community, because fanatics and their stranglehold on new product, if it lasts 15 more years, the hobby's going to be dead. So that's my opinion.
Yeah. The card deal. Chris, what does lawyers have to do with speaking up and speaking the truth? He who lies is the one to worry. Never fear if you are honest.
Yeah. Bad actors have lawyers, but you know what? Other people have lawyers. Hello.
Hey,
anyway,
now.
So
anyway,
all right. So let's talk. Let's go back to talking about your channel. That was a nice run. We got close to 100 subscribers, not subscribers, 100 viewers. But
oh wow,
okay. We're down at 89 now. So
Sunday night,
got to start bringing them back up.
That's awesome. So
I guess I checked your live stream history, and you had done a few live streams back about a year ago. I think you interviewed what's it, Sports Card Nonsense? Is that the guy? Neo?
Okay.
Geo.
Oh boy,
Geo.
Good old Geo, yeah.
And then you've done quite a lot of interviews. I mean, you had Scotty on, Scotty B, is that his name?
Yep.
You've had I guess Neo's been on, and you've had a lot of guys come on. Jeremy Lee was on a couple of times, which is quite a accomplishment, because Jeremy doesn't appear on shows. He usually has people appear on his show. Which, by the way, have you not been on Jeremy Lee's show yet?
We're scheduled. I think it's March 3rd. So at some point in March, I'm scheduled to go on there.
Okay, we're breaking news here. Yeah. So, and then I guess it's been. Well, tell us about how the lives, like the regular lives, started up.
So I was doing all my editing on my phone for 2-something years. Even when in April, May, I went to the National, still doing editing on my phone. I got home and I was someone that watched the channel who has his own YouTube channel, not in sports cards. It's actually in a courtroom. He does court stuff where he'll like provide the court footage, and he's done really well. He has over 150,000 subscribers, and he was liking my content. And so he said, you know what? You need to buy a computer. You need to start editing on your computer, and you need to start going live. And so I did start going live. And at first it was just trivia and and then I started saying, okay, this is fun being on live. Let's see. And I think it was about September, I started, okay, let's do Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday lives. And then it turned into just Tuesday, Wednesday lives, which I like. I think Friday was a lot for me. And it's also, makes Tuesday, Wednesday a little more concise. But the lives have been really fun. I'm learning. I get great feedback. People have reached out to help. And I think, and now I'm trying something new where another pivot to the channel is I'm clipping the lives. There's a lot of good moments on those lives that just die in the 2-hour. I can't get exposed. The channel can't grow that way. That's not how YouTube works. So I'm starting to piece some of those clips to release daily. That way I could still get some new exposure onto the channel.
So, I see your numbers when you have lives, and you're consistently over 100, which is a lot for us. We're at 94 right now. That's a lot for us. And
hey,
your numbers are consistently high. But I've been in some of your lives, and not on the screen, but in the chat, where you've had over 200 and 250, and so like you pulled in some pretty strong numbers. And I guess, like everyone, it depends on what your subject matter is, who your guests are, that kind of thing.
100%. Topic matters. You saw like Dan the Card Man has really struggled the past 6 months getting views. All of a sudden, this Pac-Man story, I think that's his biggest video ever he did this weekend. So I could be wrong, but it's up there. So the story does matter. But I also think, and I'm going to get into a lot of this on Tuesday, but the holidays also, we were that live for a moment there was getting 2,000 plus views, after the fact. You know, if you go look at the view
right.
number, it was getting a lot of watchers after. So I think the holidays, the stories matter. I also think the closer we get to summer and the National and Fanatics Fest. So yes, 100 is a great base. 150 is a great base. I'd love to keep making fun. It's a fun hangout. The other thing you mentioned, I can't. The chat is amazing. That we have. I mean, literally, something about the show that it really brings out some great comedy from the people in the chat. The chat is really great. It's a great and the 2 hours fly by. I'm there. If I'm there for 2 hours, it feels like I've been hanging out for 10 minutes going over everything. So it's just a blast. It's a lot of fun.
Well, I'm surprised he's not in this chat, but one of my favorite YouTube chatters is, of course, Bob Boozle.
Oh, the best. Yeah, the best.
Not only funny guy, a very funny guy, but also extremely nice guy. He's left some really nice comments. You know, when he's not being funny, he's being a nice guy. And, you know, he likes you. He is in your chat all the time. So that's a good, you know, chip for you. But also, you know, you got guys like Mike Petty and Orlando and, you know, some of these, some of the regular chat guys are in there and just, you know, having a ball. And, you know, you keep it moving, you keep it interesting. You know, you've always got something happening. You got somebody coming in, you got calls, you got the voicemails. I mean, it's an entertaining couple of hours. And, you know, I wish I could watch it more, but, you know, it's like, what time do you see? You start at 8, right? 8
yeah,
Eastern?
it is 5 my time. Yeah, so it's already 8 your time. That's right.
Yeah.
And that's the plan with some of these clips is not everyone's going to watch a 2-hour show. You might even put it on and only watch 30 minutes. So, you know, the clips, hopefully I'm on to something there.
Oh, mommy, there we go.
I know. I feel like I haven't seen that name in a minute. There was was cracking.
Well, so got a couple more questions here. Another question. Where's Ziggy? What the hell? Where is he?
Ziggy will be back. Me and Ziggy still talk. He had to go somewhere for work and then he got sick and he always said he's going to be in and out. He's there. He also, he doesn't like to always, you know, Ziggy, he doesn't like to always have his name as the name because then people, you know, they already treat him a certain way. So sometimes he has to come in under a different account, I feel. So that way he doesn't feel like he's getting picked on or some bias towards him. He's around. Who, me? He's hanging around.
So he was in Hobby Hotline chat trying to go after Chris Carlin from PSA
recently,
saying some stuff, and I didn't let him in. I didn't give him the link.
Right. That's right.
And then he started calling me, "Hey, old man." And I was like, "Dude, you're out of here." So I bounced him out, and I told him that you know, if you're gonna come on and just harangue the guests, like that's not cool, man. And like, so then he was bitching, you know, and trashing me all over the place, including in your chat.
Oh yeah,
and then he
in my DMs,
a call in, and he had a call in.
He really wanted to chat with you. He really wanted to talk.
Yeah, I don't know. Did you text me and say Ziggy wants to chat with you?
Yes, I sure did. I tried to because Ziggy was hitting me up trying to, yeah.
So and then he ended up apologizing, and I accepted his apology. So he and I are okay now. I don't know how long that's going to last, but we'll see.
Ziggy's a character, but I think overall I like Ziggy. Yeah, I'm a fan.
Well, he's one of those guys that you know, he's a bit of a keyboard warrior because I hear when he meets people face to face at places like the National that he's a pussycat. So I don't know.
He's fun. Ziggy's fun.
All right. So here's another question. It's what percentage of collectors are watching YouTube channels like this and more? That percentage, if a good estimate exists, will tell a tale. What is your opinion on this subject? What do you think about that? Because I hear people say we're just a tiny microcosm of what the actual hobby is. And I don't know if I agree with that.
Well, I mean, just forget YouTube. Let's say half the hobby is even on YouTube. So you already lose half the people right there. There's plenty of people that don't watch YouTube like us. And maybe they're on Instagram. Maybe they watch more Twitter. Maybe they don't watch any YouTube. Maybe they watch sitcoms, whatever. So half the hobbies, I don't even think on YouTube. And so, okay, there's already 50% gone. And then even if we have a fifth or a tenth of that. So yeah, I do think it's overall pretty relatively small. I do. I don't think that I'm not on Instagram. I am on Instagram because it's a great way to DM everyone and it's fun for the channel. But I don't, unless I'm doing it for the channel or to gather knowledge, I don't know the Instagram people. Like I'm just dead to the, I don't know them. And same thing with Twitter. I'm not on X that often. So if you're an X person, I really don't. So there's plenty of people that aren't consuming YouTube every day. And then it's a competitive space. It's a competitive niche. A lot of people are trying to make content.
Well, let me say this. Let me counterpoint that. When I go to a show, like let's say Strongsville, right? And we have a very large contingent of YouTubers there, and we're in the main room and it's packed. I can't go more than 10 feet without walking into somebody from YouTube. I can go to a certain table from a certain vintage dealer, and there will be 4 guys around me, and they'll all be YouTubers. Or I'll walk down the aisle, and I'll not be with anybody, and someone will tap me on the shoulder or say, hey, it's you, Dan, how are you? So, like, it's big at a place like that. And so, my channel, like, I have 1,600 subscribers. There are guys, like Mike Junkwax Hero with 12,000. I mean, these guys.
You're more popular than me because I go to Front Row Card Show. I also go to Las Vegas Card Show. So I probably go to 7 or 8 card shows a year. I'm not getting stopped. I'm not getting recognized, nor do I recognize them from, a lot of them from making YouTube content. So that's interesting. That Strongsville show might be a unique case, or maybe there's the Dallas Card Show. If you go there, I bet you're seeing a lot more creators.
Yeah.
In fairness, I did see a few creators at Front Row Card Show. You definitely see a few. And then there's Front Row Card Show's heavy TCG at this point. So there is a lot of Pokemon. Yeah. That's interesting. Yeah. I just don't think a lot of the hobby's not on. That's an interesting thought. Yeah, it is. Maybe the people that are more engaged attending shows or that show, some of the hobby doesn't even go to a show,
True. But yeah, I mean, so it feels like at times I mean, I go to other shows, and no one says a word to me, and I don't see anybody. But there are a group of us at the vintage shows.
Will you be at the National?
Say that again.
Will you be at the National?
Yeah.
Hey now. All right. Well, I got to say hi. We got it. Yeah. Okay.
Absolutely. I'll buy you a drink. So we had our whole suite at the National last year. We had our whole, we had a whole thing going on. We did the trade night. It's like, so in the vintage world,
I'm pretty antisocial. I just got to say, I know here it's fun, but I'm such an, I want to just sit in my room and make the content after. I know.
So we got a question for you, which is, if Prof was not doing this, where would he be? Where would we be? Generally a topic to consider all the support he has lately. I'm not sure what the question is about. I thought when I first read it, I thought, if you weren't making YouTube, what would you be doing? Would you be, going to basketball games and, going to the casinos or whatever? But I think what this means is if you weren't doing what you were doing, like that, I think it's a kudos to you kind of question.
Card deal, I appreciate it because
hobby needs you.
Me and him have gone back and forth so I really appreciate it. I never know which side some of these of my viewers, because it's just sometimes you say something pisses somebody off, but it means a lot. And I was telling Frank the other day, like, I see Dustin, he's making his content, and Neo and some of these, and they weren't taking a narrative that they're a little more easy to take now. Junkwax Heroes maybe speaking up a little different now. So I don't want to give myself too much credit now. We were talking shit on sport. I don't know, talking shit. We were talking about Sports Car Radio. Without them, that's the place they had. And I feel like I helped keep it going. They stopped and I helped. Without some of, we do need more, we do.
There's AIH does what he does. And when he comes on your show, honestly, I have a hard time watching his videos because he doesn't really have
for some reason it works on the little show. It works so well for that 10 minutes.
Yeah, when he comes on with you, you go back and forth. I think you engage him, you give him you sort of animate him, and he's much better in that scenario. He should consider
it works really well. He'll be on Wednesday, by the way. Yeah, it works great.
Good. That being said, I don't want to be negative about the guy because he does do a lot of research and he's not afraid to take on. He's not afraid to take people on. But it's between him. I love Dan the Card Man. I think I'm sad to hear about his numbers being down, and he's mentioned that before.
A
but
huge
he
weekend
does a
for
great
him.
job.
2 huge videos for. I'm really happy
Yeah.
for him because his videos this weekend got a lot of it's a resurgence for him, which I'm sure he's had because it can get in his head. I'm sure it can get in somebody's head when your numbers were a certain way, they start to go. So I'm happy for him. He crushed it this weekend.
Yeah. Yeah, and he's an honest guy. He also, he's like his daughter's 4th birthday. Like he's a family guy too. You got to respect a guy who
That's right.
has his priorities are in order. Where is Petty anyway?
I was
Where the
wondering
hell
the
is
same thing when you mentioned Boozle. I was thinking the same thing. No Petty.
No Petty, no Boozle. What the heck?
You still got
So
close to
I mean,
100 in here. That's awesome.
I think, and Greg mentions his numbers are way down. It's okay. I mean,
I also think it's this time of the year. I was looking at Jeff Wilson's channel on the live, way down. I think, and but my channel started popping off in April, and May last year. So if you looked at Dustin's videos, you wouldn't know this. So kudos, but I do think it could be a little bit. It's the end of the holidays. I think the closer we get to May and April, numbers creep up a little more. I could be way wrong too, but that's something I'm analyzing.
So I guess the big question for me right now is, who is your Super Bowl pick?
I mean, as a Raider fan, I'm not a huge Patriot supporter. I just thought, now they played in the snow. It was a really rough second half for the Patriots. I didn't think Drake May looked all that great. He made some good decisions with his legs. That Seattle team, I've kind of underestimated all year. Here they are. I think it's going to be very tough. I'll take Seattle. I think Vegas is right most of the time. It should be a good game. I would assume it's going to be a good game. I'm taking the Seahawks. How about yourself?
I haven't looked at the spread. What's the spread on the game?
I think it came out -4. I haven't looked since it opened. I think it was about -4, 4.5 for Seattle, I believe.
Yeah, I mean, that sounds about right. I feel like which game? It wasn't the NFC Championship game. The game before that, the semifinal or whatever you want to call it, they blew out somebody. I forget who it was. Was it San Francisco?
Yeah, and San Francisco was so depleted. Everybody was hurt.
They just blew them out of the stadium.
Yeah, but at that point, they were done. They had so many injuries. The Rams game was better. That Rams game was really good.
I'm one of those guys that I've watched Darnold. He came into Notre Dame Stadium when my son was a student there, and he was just awful for USC. And I said, this guy's nothing. And then he got drafted by the freaking Jets in New York City, which is where I live.
And was a bust. He was a bust.
What are they doing? And I'm like, everybody shows his highlights. I saw him in that Notre Dame game, and he wasn't good. And then his first pass as an NFL quarterback was a pick six. I don't know. Nobody seems to know this. It's like, people are like, what? Really? Yeah. His first pass was a pick six.
Yeah, man, you can't have it both ways. You can't have it both ways.
He has some good games.
Into drama.
And and the other thing is he's matured. He's gotten coaching. He's ready to go. So I think he's going to win. I mean, I think they're just a better team.
It's a solid team, very good team. And someone asked, I teach 5th grade. That's what, so full-time job. And then I do this almost as another full-time job. I respect the shit out of Mangini. So no, I don't know what the hell happened between our communication, but really I do respect Mangini a lot. But I would also say you still, you come out with some drama videos too occasionally. Got to lean into it sometimes, but I wouldn't say my channel's all drama, and some of it just needs to be exposed. It just does. Yeah. And it's also fun.
Well, it's not just personal drama on your channel, which is a lot of what SCR did. It's also like things like the shill bidding and price fixing. And when you had the video with Mike and Greg, which was, I guess, what, Tuesday or Wednesday, you talked about prices of current players that are off, out of this world versus like, iconic cards of
Dan,
iconic players, and how that's all completely out of whack.
I think one of your goals before we even got on was like to show that, okay, some people just view you as that sensationalized type of avenue, drama, as Mangini says. But I would argue a lot of it's not, we get callers, we have fun, we have we look at charts, we look at price, we watch other people's videos. I would argue a lot of it is not, I try not to sensationalize it too much while still making a YouTube product. Yeah, I think Neo was a big one. I think Neo painted me in that corner. He's come to realize that, okay, he's not, there is some truth and some facts and some reality to the angle he's taking.
Yeah. I think Orlando is correct. He's not a drama guy, and he is a big fan of your channel.
Orlando's the best.
Neo, I have a little thing here that I wrote down on my notes because Neo did that video. SCR put out the article on their website about the Fanatics document leak, and then Neo did a video like
it was good.
Saturday
it was a good video
right after it came out, and it is a good video. But I kept thinking back because I was subscribed to Neo, and I was pissed that he was a total fanboy for Fanatics Fest. He went to Fanatics Fest, and he was like, "Oh, this is great. This was so much fun." I'm like, dude, what are you doing? And like I said something like, did they give you a pass and now you have to say good things? He's like, oh, what?
Gotcha.
So I unsubscribed. I didn't follow Neo for like 6 months after that. And the reality is he never took anything back from that. He's a fanboy of Fanatics Fest, and yet here he is.
But here is what he's a wrestling guy. I think Neo's not necessarily a sports car guy, and he fell into this, and he gives the news. But I think he loves wrestling, and so Fanatics Fest has all those wrestlers there, and it's a show. And for me, it's the national all day, every day, because I'm a sports card person. Where some people really liked Fanatics last year, Fanatics Fest, and I think he liked seeing all the show of it more. I've come around, I think it took me a while to read Neo. I think Neo is coming around to it's not all sunshine and rainbows.
Yeah, he also, he's anytime anyone has a theory about something, he calls it.
My bad, Mangini.
His conspiracy theory, tinfoil hat guys. If you think anything behind the scenes is happening, you're a tinfoil hat guy.
Yeah,
BS. And now, you know what happened with this Fanatics thing? Not only was it pay to play stuff, not only was it price fixing, but it was the Fanatics guys were steering celebrities to their preferred vendors.
That's right. I read that right off the bat. I made who was the girl? What's Livy Dunn? I made a video right away. Her going to that guy. I want that one. It was scripted to a T. Yes. Does not surprise me.
And then Alex Rodriguez.
Oh, I know. What grade is it? What condition is it? Yeah.
I was like, Alex Rodriguez was onto something there. Let me explain this to you. A PSA 10 isn't always a PSA 10. A PSA 10 could be,
you're giving him too much credit. You're giving him too much credit.
No, but Alex Rodriguez, just by his stupidity, actually pointed out something which is valid in the hobby. Is not all PSA 10s are not all created equal.
By the way, Dan, Fanatics Fest is going to be absolutely huge again. I mean, it's what Fanatics, they want to make sure it shines. So I think as much as it might annoy you or me, I think Fanatics Fest is going to do really well again.
Yeah, but it's not a collector's.
Hey now, I look.
It's not a place for collectors. Look, Mancini is going to buy you drinks. I'm going to buy you drinks. I think we're all going to get.
I guess I have to go out at some point. Shit. Yeah. Oh my goodness.
Well, I would encourage you. I don't know. I actually don't know the situation at this point, but Mike Moynihan does the Thursday night of the national get together, and it's all YouTubers and it's all YouTuber people, and it's last year was like 200 people, and we all got shut out of the place. And I know the story.
That was some drama, though.
Yeah, he's talking about doing it again this year. And if he doesn't do it, somebody else will. And I know, speaking of Mangini, they put together an event on, I think it was Wednesday night, and it was really well attended and it was fun. So, Stain, I have your phone number. I'll text you when there's something I think you'd have fun at. You say you're not a social guy, but
I'm not.
People are gonna talk to you about stuff. I mean,
it'll be fun. It will be fun. I'm just, not easy for me.
All right, so we are at 50 minutes. We went up to 94. We actually went up to 96. We didn't quite make it to 100, but let's get 100 in here. Yes,
It's
this
been
is what it
fun.
was.
It's been very fun.
Vintage Oddball. This is Rick, who does the show with Mangini. They put together the Wednesday night at the Lowe's Hotel, which I don't know if they're going to do it again this year because Lowe's Hotel is probably like all the other hotels, not made available to us. But it was a really fun night.
Is that Fanatics doing? What's going on with that? Is that the Nationals doing? No. How come?
Yeah, the National locked up all the hotel rooms across the street from the Stevens
like they
Center.
didn't want because I guess in the past, this is my first National. In the past, you guys, people would hang out in the lounge. You'd have some unofficial party somewhere, and it sounded like they cracked down on that. They didn't want that happening this year unless it was a sponsored event.
Everything has to be sponsored, sanctioned, etc.
Baloney.
But the rooms, I don't know how they got all the rooms. It's crazy. And we stayed right across the street last year. This year coming up, later this year, we're going to stay at like a hotel like an hour, like a mile and a half away, which I'm kind of bummed about because I like the whole walking across the street thing.
It's very convenient. It's set up very nice. Yeah.
So let's see, guys. Do we have any more questions here? What do you think? Come on. Wait, how did we go down to 83? What happened?
That's how it goes. That's how it goes. Where is Petty?
What happened?
I don't know. It was a crazy weekend. It was a crazy weekend. Pac-Man, the story, Sports Car Radio is going live tomorrow. I'm going live Tuesday. I got plenty to say on Gio on Tuesday. I'm annoyed with him at the moment. Wednesday, I'm going to do a Jeff Wilson special. I have a huge show. Like today, I spent all day planning Tuesday's show, so it should be a really fun live.
Who are the guests on Tuesday?
Now, whoever I'm leaning away. If I notice when I schedule guests, it really stops from new people calling in. It stops engagement. So I'd like to have guests still, and people are free to call in. But I'm going to schedule less guests. Maybe I go 8 shows, so maybe 2 out of the 8 shows I'll have a strong guest, and then the other 6 I just have a lot to go over on a lot of clips, a lot of video, a lot of this, the Pac-Man story, I don't know, Wednesday AIH is calling in. I'd like to get Dan the Card Man to talk more Pac-Man. I think a key goal for those things is, and same here, it just any live, everyone's like, it's gotta be fun. Somehow the fun has to somehow be in. I think fun is a key word I started picking up on people as I interviewed them for the hobby. I think that's the key word missing because it gets overshadowed by dollars or the nastiness or all the corruption going on. As long as you can have fun, just don't lose too much money having fun.
So this is Theo asking, do you think Jeff is good for the hobby? Wow.
Dan, I'll let you take that first. I'll go ahead.
My answer is going to be very short. No.
Yeah. I mean, that's the political way to say, yeah. I mean, it's absolutely not. No, with the capital N and O. We're in this situation now. He's trying to come back and the box prices are so high. Bro, the box prices are high because you've been shilling and pumping this stuff for 6 years. He's part of the issue. I'm sure Clemente feels that. That was a rhetorical question. He just wanted to hear it. He knew the answer to that.
Jeff's is exposing a whole new generation to the legend of Louis Taint. So do you know what Louis Taint is?
I do not. I got to say, the second word's rough, but yeah, no.
Okay. So Louis Taint. So Jeff has this thing where he has opened up several packs or what do you call them? Cello packs or wax packs of vintage stuff. Like he'll open up something that's, a $3,000 unopened package and pull out, $50 worth of cards. But the funny part is when he goes through and he mispronounces the names of the players. And there was a pitcher in the 60s, 70s, and early 80s named Louis Tion. Louis Tion was a Cuban star. He was.
I already see where this is going. Okay.
World Series hero, loved, totally loved player, very well-known player. And also now he passed away about 2 years ago, but while he was retired, he was like a great representative of Red Sox Nation. He would go to all the signings and stuff. So really well-known guy and important historical player. And his card comes up, and Louis Tion is pronounced by Jeff Wilson as Louis Taint. It has become, for vintage guys, it's sort of like funny and also insulting at the same time. And insulting for so many reasons. And I went on, the day it came out, I went on Mike Junkwax's Heroes channel, and we talked about it for about 20 minutes, why I thought it was so insulting. But, that's one of those
It's hilarious.
So it's now a meme, it's now a meme, the whole Louis Taint thing.
And to I know Steel City's your boy here. Real talk, Jeff is harmless. I mean, he tries to present the news or get people to watch, and the people that are watching, okay, fine, maybe some of them are educated and know what's up, and they just need something to watch. And then he goes into ripping Arena Club and promoting Arena Club, and I'm very anti that kind of stuff. So I don't know. And I was at the National, and I was waiting. I wanted to meet Brian Gray. I wanted to shake his hand. He had emailed me. I just want to say what's up. So I waited in his little line. In front of me was a family. It was a dad, and he was there because his son was 15. He pitched and was quarterback, so very athletic kid. And he had Justin Jefferson. The people he watched were Jeff and Card Collector too. And he has no clue what he's getting into. And his dad is just there to support. And, when he got to the front of the line, Brian Gray didn't want any of his cards. He didn't buy any of them. He didn't want one because... So I don't know. Jeff is selling something that I don't necessarily believe in. I don't believe in the new product. I think he's the face of it. And so, yeah, I don't think it's great for the hobby.
Well, I think the card deal totally agrees with you. He's selling a bag of lies. Right. He's garbage. He's misleading, and he will only screw you. That's a little strong. But Frank
sounds like a viewer of mine.
Frank had a question, which I think is a good question, and I think we you're a guest on here, and I want you to talk about things you're going to be doing. What do you have for like huge events in the works for February? What do you think? Or is this an inside joke?
Sorry. No, Frank knows a little inside information. I guess I'll say it here. I'm going to say it soon enough anyways. On February 23rd, which is a Monday, February 23rd, I have Chris Sewell is going to be moderator / Tony Reale, and I'm going to have 4 panelists and myself. So we'll have Run Good Life, we'll have Neo, we'll have Junkwax Hero Mike, we'll have Troy as Trike Sports Cards, and myself. I think I listed this all off as the panelist. There might be one other or two other surprise. And so we'll do a whole debate / around the horn / I don't know how it's going to turn out. I officially got all the logistics, all the yes. So it'll be February 23rd, nice. Monday. And it should be, we're going to call it the Hobby Collision. And maybe it'll be like a quarter. I think once a month is too often, maybe a quarterly thing if it plays out well. And again, FUN, it has to be fun. And, and I think it will be. So that's what, I think this week's show are going to be really fun. Well, I'm overusing the word. This week's show, I have a lot planned. And then, that Monday towards the end of the month, we'll do this debate style, not Jeff Wilson, and, a little different, a real debate. I don't know if it'll turn into a debate or something more like Around the Horn, but
it sounds good, except did you say Neo?
Neo, yeah.
Are you going to get him to look into the camera? Because, he's always looking off the screen.
Neo's been a regular in the chat the past couple months. He's been engaging with chat. He's called in. Me and him I've gotten to learn Neo a little bit more. He's a Dungeons and Dragons player. He's a really good Magic guy. He is a strategy type nerd that moved into card content creating over the COVID hype, and his channel took off, and he found this lane, and now I think for Neo, he painted us with tinfoil hats because the only other person really making the content, or the one that was front and center, was Sports Card Radio. And it was easy because they sensationalized certain things. So I think me getting out there has helped maybe realize we don't all have tinfoil hats. There is some credibility to what we're saying.
Yeah. And there is stuff behind the scenes that's going on that if you get a whiff of it, you don't have a tinfoil hat if you say it out loud. And that's proven to be true. And, I think he's maybe he's learned a little. Maybe he's not quite so derogatory to people having, thoughts and opinions about things that might not be kosher that are going on behind the scenes.
Anyway, we're waking him up. We're waking him up.
Orlando has a question. Orlando wants to know when are he and Petty going to be on again? Come on, man.
Anytime. it was so neat to have them. They came on with my brother, and it was the first time my brother had been on, and my brother just went through this card thing. So that it was really cool having them on. That was, hey, Petty's made I see Petty in the chat here.
Yeah, Penny's in the chat. Yeah.
But yeah, that was really neat. And Petty or Orlando, I know maybe it doesn't get the crazy views. I like your little walks. I know you already know that, but I like this new style of walk and talk and scenery, and it's so calm. And we obviously think alike. You wouldn't be tuning in. You talk about similar things, and I think you have more, because of how you're viewed and perceived and how I'm viewed and perceived. It's really great when you say it because there's just so much. It's such from a calm, wise angle. So I'm enjoying those Orlando.
So here's a question for you. What is your favorite card in your collection?
My favorite card all time is the Magic Bird Dr. J rookie. I had 2 of them. Unfortunately, they're no longer in my collection. Just because I have so many. I've been collecting this Vince McMahon rookie card for 4 or 5 years, before his scandal. So that didn't help. But I just felt who's a little bit older that might, and doesn't have many cards, and everybody knows Vince McMahon that's watched wrestling for generations. Hulk Hogan's on the same card with his feet up on it. So that's probably, I know that's maybe not the answer you want, but that's probably my favorite. I'm staring at a couple Topps gold cards from back in the 90s. One's a Griffey, one's a Bonds. Those are cards I like. But yeah, probably the McMahon rookie card is something I think I'm just ahead of the game. There's only 200 something copies graded. I own 20 something of them. It's a card I like a lot. I believe in a lot.
Awesome. You're a little hoarder there.
Yeah. No one else wants to buy it. I'm the one.
Eventually they will. So here's a question. What's the last packs or box you've opened?
Another unpopular answer here. My brother for Christmas, before all the craziness in One Piece boxes, he brought me a One Piece box. I don't know, $150. So when I got home from Christmas, I opened that. I think at a card show, someone had super cheap blasters. It was some garbage pail kids. There was a bit of sports I bought, but I'm talking super cheap. It was worth picking up a few to have some fun. But it's hard to find the value in sports, man. I don't really love the product because it's just all flashy, whatever you're some BS. How many different Wembies do I need to get? So I find more fun and value almost in not sports cards at the moment. It's the values. Not that there's a ton of value in the other stuff. It's just you're not paying an arm and a leg. You're not getting crushed. So, how about you, Dan? I can't imagine you've opened anything recently.
The last pack, I'm actually going to open a pack this week.
Of?
It's a 1981 pack of New York Yankees Coke cards. Now, Coke put out some cards. They look exactly like Topps, but they have little Coke insignias on them. And they put them out for certain teams in like 79, 80, 81. And in 1981, they tried to put out a set for the Yankees, but the Yankees were a Pepsi team, so it never got distributed. So the thing about it is there's a Reggie Jackson card in there, and I collect Reggie Jackson. So I'm going to open up the pack, take out the Reggie. Hopefully it's nicely centered and it's not banged up or anything. And I'm going to send it off to grade, and I'll have my Reggie Coke card. So I will open that pack this week. In fact, I'm going to do it.
That'll be fun. That's a neat story, by the way.
Yeah, no, I have to shout out, I hope he's still in the chat, Keith from Lonely Basement Baseball Cards, who is probably one of the guys that's been in your chat because he's a great chatter and a great dude. But he did a video about it, and I didn't even know about it. He did the whole thing, and then I went and bought him. No,
what does a pack like that run?
Reggie's in every one. It's not that I'm going to get. It's not that I'm not going to get him. There's only 4 cards of Yankees because they did it as a test run and then it didn't get distributed.
What did that cost you? What does a pack like that run?
I bought 2 packs for $100,
okay,
which was a deal, which was actually a deal considering. I am going to use SGC. That's what I do.
I have a conundrum because I recently bought about a month ago. I put some money into One Piece singles raw, and I talk so much trash on PSA. I feel I have a membership for, it'll remain till I'll cut it off once the end of the, that membership ends. So, I mean, I could send them in myself. I'm conflicted what to do, how to grade them. Yeah.
Here's a
SGC,
question
I
from-
like SGC slabs.
Yeah. Well, I have a sub at SGC now that I sent off on the 15th of December. It got marked received on December 31st. So here we are in February, and I don't have it back yet. Yeah, little annoying, little bit annoying. So Theo says, as a teacher, do your students know that you're on YouTube?
So I have a separate like little YouTube for them that I do. I don't put many videos on there, but just highlighting them. I get them to sign like a waiver so we could have some, they get excited by it. Some of them know, some of them don't, especially as I've been doing these lives this year and my, we all know my mouth. So I try, I don't overshare, no, but some of them definitely know. Yes, some of them. I don't make. I'm leaning towards not going out there and publicizing to my kids anymore, just because I have a potty mouth. I can't control my mouth.
So Stuke points out that there's a Reggie Coke card on eBay for $99. So
yeah, sounds like you got a great deal. I'm gonna end up
with 2 of them in those packs. So the question is what they look like. But the other cards are also kind of rare. So I'm actually going to end up selling like the other cards in there. So
who are the other 3 players?
Goose Gossage, who's a Hall of Famer, Rick Cerrone, who was a catcher for a little while, and then it's the lead card. So it's 4 cards total. The lead card's worth like $10. So here it is. I feel better about SGC now that they made an announcement that they are not dead. So I don't know if you've seen this, but Carlos and I, after our success with the shill bidding thing, did an AMA here, like on a Sunday night, which did really well. And then we started up something called Cardboard Cynics, and we've done 2 episodes. And one of my and we do 3 reasons to be cynical about the hobby and 3 reasons to be cheerful about the hobby. And one of my cheerful things was that SGC is not dead. So there you go.
Who said The Undertaker? Who said they're not dead? Themselves or what? What was
no,
there?
Me,
was okay.
And then they came out 2 days later saying that they're gonna start putting more people.
Yeah.
You're losing on your street cred with all this talk about One Piece.
No chance. Hey, I bought them for $190. They're over 2,000 right now. No, One Piece is fun. It's a great IP. It is. I'm now overusing that word, but sports cards has lost the and maybe One Piece will too. Now that Logan Paul's moving in. Oh, what joy! What joy!
So I guess we hit the algorithm again because we went up from about 70 to 84.
Hey now.
I'm still good. I'm still ready to go. We usually end at about an hour, but if people keep asking questions and you're up for it, we can keep going.
So let's see. You asked me what the favorite card in my collection was, and I don't have a lot of my. There's some. I love the Kareem currently. I used to own it. Don't have it. The rookie card. I don't have any of the big baseball rookie cards. I would love. I own a Ricky Henderson. I'd say that's up there. So how about for you? What is your favorite card in your collection? Okay. What grade is that? Not that it matters, but what a great
It's a
card.
1.
Wow.
It's a 1 because I couldn't afford anything more than a 1 in this card.
That'll do. That would be my favorite card too. That's awesome.
Yeah, I should mention that Tony, Southern Collector, who you should have him on too, because he's a great guest. I'm on his channel on Tuesday. He's putting a video out Tuesday morning. It's like a collector, I forget what he calls it, collector focus or something like that. And so I talk about my collection for like an hour. So
that'll be fun. Your collection looks like it would be fun to talk about, no doubt.
Yeah, well, we take 20 cards of mine and I tell a story and I put them in sort of the order that would make sense in a story. So I had some fun talking about some old memories that I'd never talked about before. So Tony's great. Tony has an amazing collection. Yeah.
The people watch you, right? I've been working on a book for almost 2 years now, writing a book, and it's historical fiction, and it's 1909, so it's heavy baseball. It follows a bookie, Eli, who follows the the Detroit Tigers. Ty Cobb ends up meeting Honus Wagner in the World Series. Obviously, that's the year that the cards come out. So it's and so you're the so when it's really hard to get an agent and get published. I could self-publish, but I'd love you to sit down and read it one day. It'd be because it's just
absolutely,
it's pure base. It's just fun. God, it's stupid. It's not good. No, it's been a good project. And I just think I see your collection back there. I'm speaking to someone like you in that book.
Yeah. Send me over. I assume you have a PDF. Just send it
Oh,
over.
that'd be awesome. Yeah, that would, even if just a few
Love
chapters, and give me some feedback.
So Theo, who's asking a lot of questions here, he must have some connection to this channel. Yeah, he invented the channel. I love that you use Bond music on your channel. I assume you're a similar age and grew up playing N64.
Yes, sir. I still play video games. I'm still at this channel is taking up video. It's better I do this than play games. But I definitely grew up playing GoldenEye, like revolutionized video games there. And it's a classic song. We all remember it. It hits well. It's good song.
Yeah. Do you have any issues with monetization on that?
No, it's not the original version. Someone made
okay.
It's a mix up somehow. It's a little different. So I don't have that particular, whatever they did to change it a little avoids any copyright.
Cool.
Good question.
I have had Reggie bars, but I don't currently own one because I don't like to own food that's 30 years old, but apparently Mangini does.
Eat it.
The Reggie bar was like a circular thing that was made out of chocolate, peanuts, caramel, and it was fantastic. It was like a Snickers, but a little bit different. And the Reggie bar was made when Reggie was in New York, and then I guess when he left, they stopped making them. So that he left New York in 1982. So that's 40 years ago. So I do not have a 40-year-old candy bar in my house.
Who mentioned Chris mentions Ken Griffey Jr. baseball was great. Ken Griffey Jr. baseball was great, and then RBI baseball, the one with Manny Ramirez, was probably the best all time. But Slugfest, I think, was the Griffey game. Yeah, really. You asked me about numbers earlier. It's kind of sad because I was a highly ranked Madden player in the top 2,000 in the world online. I waited for Madden release I was a huge Madden for 20 something years. But that's how I knew all the numbers. That's how I really stayed on track with all the players, all the stats, was really diving into those games.
All right. So we're about an hour and a quarter, and we're
thanks for having me on.
People are just hanging out. Fun. I have to say, and let me say this to you. Somebody said it before, and I find this to be true. That what you do on your channel is fun and it's entertaining, but it's important. And I think when you, together with some of these other guys, call out the bad stuff that's going on in the hobby, you're doing a service, an invaluable service to all of us. And I like the fact that you do it with a smile and with some fun and with, no ill intentions, and you're not out to hurt anybody. And so I think that what you do is fantastic. I'm so happy you came on today, and you're just a fun guy to hang out with and talk to. And I really wish you all the best, and really appreciate you coming on today.
Kawhi Leonard, as a reminder, this was great, and thank you for the chance to come on. It was great hanging out. Yeah, kind words. I'll be tuning in this week, and I really look forward to that special project you have with all those guys. But I'll be tuning in every week and checking it out. I can't always do 2 hours, but I'll show up and hang out a little bit in the chat and give Ziggy a hard time when he comes back. Yeah, Dan, thanks for having me on again. Real fun.
So I run the outro, and then it knocks you out, and just hang out, and I'll pull you back in, and we'll chat afterwards. But folks, it's been great. Thanks to the chat. Really, really great job, guys, of great questions, great conversations, really cool stuff. Really appreciate you guys, both our regular For Collector guys and the people that came over from Jason's channel. So it's been a lot of fun and wonderful Sunday night. So take care, folks.
Hey now.
Love my hobby. Keep collecting baseball cards.
But hey, we want to keep the lights on here at Four Collectors Studios, so hit the like button for us, guys.
So thanks everybody for coming, and yeah, we'll see you next time on Four Collectors.
All right, guys, have a great rest of your night. Subscribe to the Four Collectors channel if you haven't done so yet, and see you soon.
All right, guys. Clementi Collector has said we hit a grand slam, so that makes me feel good.